Hey guys, I'm Haley Dixon from High Definition Beauty, and today I'm super excited for the video. We are doing the eye look that you see on me now. It's a very rainbow, very glam look, and it's also a challenge where I only get to use one brush and one palette. So let's skip the long intro and get right into it. Okay guys, so I did my eyebrows off camera and I'm not wearing foundation quite yet just because we're going to have a lot of fallout with this look and I don't want it to mess up the face makeup, so we can just get right into the challenge. So first we're going to start off with our eye primer, and we're going to take the Urban Decay eye primer and a little bit of concealer just because we want it to have like a lighter base just so the colors pop a lot more. So I'm going to put that concealer on my eye. And then we're going to take a little bit of our eye primer and just a little dot of that. And when I'm doing really extravagant looks like this one, I like to blend in my my eye base with a brush instead of my finger, just because my fingers can't really get into the small cracks, but the brush can. So I'm going to take my brush and spread that eye base. So we want to make sure that we blend the eye base all the way up to our brow bone like that, because we want the shadows to be able to blend it very evenly and get in the inner corner of our eye and all the way to the edge of our eye as well. And then I'm going to go in with the other eye and do the same thing. Okay, now that I have my eye base on, we can get in with the eyeshadow. And this is where the real challenge starts and where I will only be using one brush. And this is a Morphe brush from the Rose Gold collection. It doesn't say exactly which one, which kind of sucks, but it's the one from the Rose Gold collection. It's like a fluffy brush. So now we're going to go into our James Charles palette, and we're going to go into our first shade, which will be yellow. So we're going to be using this shade right here. I'm going to take that just a little bit on my brush, just a tiny bit like that, and just pack it on the inner corner of my eye. The good thing about the James Charles palette is they're really, really pigmented, so it does not take a lot to get that color on your eye. So I'm just focusing this color in the inner corner of my eye and slightly blending it up. But right now we're really just taking that color and packing it on. So we're just going to keep doing that till we are satisfied with our color. Okay, so now that we're done with the yellow, as you can see there's a little bit on my brush, so I'm just going to take a little towel that I have right here with me and just wipe that off just so we can clean it off and not make it dirty, so we have a clean brush to work with the next color. So now we're going to go in back with our James Charles palette, and we're going to go in with this orange color right here. And I'm going to take that on my brush, same way that we did the yellow, and we're going to pack it on. But this time we're going to switch between the two, make sure you clean the brush in between, and just blend it very well to get those two to mix evenly. We want to make sure that we really pack on the colors just so it's as pigmented as possible. James Charles palette does a really good job of doing that just because they aren't normal eyeshadows, they're more pigments, so they have a lot more color in them. But this can also be like difficult when you're doing more of a natural look because they are so bright. But I also don't think you'd be using such bright and colorful colors in a natural look, so maybe it works out. So anyway, we're going to keep going back and forth with those yellow and orange until we get a perfect blend. Now once we're done with the orange, we're going to move on to a sort of orangish red, and that will be this color right here from the James Charles palette. And we're just going to do the same steps as we did with the yellow and orange, just with this color now. So I'm going to take a little bit on the brush, pack it right next to that orange. Take a little bit more, pack it right next to that orange, and then blend. So it's just a lot of repeating the steps of pack, blend, clean till you get the look that you want, and it really takes a lot of going back and forth, so just make sure that you take your time and just have fun with it. Okay, now that we're done with that transition shade, we're going to go in with the red. This is such a beautiful red. It's so pigmented and it works so well with this look. And we're just going to put that in the inner corner. And we're just going to put it in the outer corner of our eye. And do the same steps that we've been doing all along. Do we see how pigmented that is? Like, wow. You go, James Charles. So now that we have the base for all of our colors, I'm going to take my brush and make sure that it's clean with my towel. And I'm just going to blend all of these at the top just to make sure that it looks very clean and even. Okay, so now that we're done with the blend of the yellow, orange, and red, I'm going to go off camera and do the other eye, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now that I'm done with the other eye, I'm going to do the rest of my foundation and my concealer just so we can do the eyeshadow on my bottom lash. So I'm just going to go in with my foundation really quick, and I'm going to put that on a little bit on my hand and go in with my blending brush and just spread that on my face. And a nice even layer, and I'm not going to worry about if it's blended or not right now, just because I'm going to go back in with my Beauty Blender in a second. So now that I have all the foundation on, I'm going to go back in and blend it all out. For our foundation today, we're going really light, not a lot of full coverage, just because there's a lot on our eyes. So we want the rest of the face to be a little bit more natural and not as full coverage. And now that we are done with all of our patting motions, I can now go in with my concealer in the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Medium. And I'm going to go under my eyes, a little bit on my forehead, my nose, and a little bit on my chin. I'm going to go back in with my Beauty Blender and blend that all out. I really like the Morphe Beauty Blender just because of the shape, just because, I don't know if you can see, but it has like that pointed edge, and that really helps to get under the eye and really get a full coverage even blend. This Morphe Beauty Blender compared to the normal one is definitely a dupe if you're looking for a cheaper option. The normal Beauty Blender is just as squishy, just as nice, and it blends very nicely. And this one does just the same, it's just a little bit cheaper. This one is $7 and the actual Beauty Blender is $20, so whichever one you want to go with is your personal choice. I will say though that the Morphe Beauty Blender is a lot bigger than the actual one, so if anything, the Morphe one is a lot better of a deal because you can blend a lot bigger space as opposed to the normal one. But some people might like the smaller one just because you can get into smaller spaces and it's a lot more controllable as to where your product blends out to. Okay, so now that we're done blending our concealer, we're going to go in with our matte setting powder, and we're just going to take a fluffy brush and dip into that and put it under our eyes to set our concealer. Setting the concealer is really important because we don't want the concealer to crease throughout the day, and just because we're using such vibrant colors today, we don't want the fallout to stain our under eyes, and it's a lot easier to just brush off when our concealer is set. I'm also going to set my nose, my forehead, a little bit on my chin. I'm going to go a little bit under my contour line just to brighten it up to deepen my contour later. So now that we're done setting our concealer, we can go back to the fun part, which is the eyeshadow. We're going to go back into our James Charles palette, and this time we're going to start with green in our inner corner. So we're going to go back in, of course, with our same brush, because that's part of the challenge. And we're going to go in with this shade right here, a little bit on the brush. And we're going to go into our inner corner and just tap that on. We don't want to go too far. I'm going about right where the color in my eye starts. So just as we did with the top of the lid, we're just going to take the color, pack it on, blend it out, and then clean the brush, and then go in with another color. What I really like about this challenge in the one brush, one palette is just because it shows like the versatility that you can get out of one palette and like all the colors that you can use, and that you don't need a lot of money to do amazing eye looks. You just need the one brush and the one palette and you can look amazing. So now that we're done with that green, we're going to clean off our brush, and then we're going to go in with the darker green that we see right next to the lighter green. We're just going to take a little bit on our brush, and we're not going to go fully across our eye. We're just going to put it on the very, very end of our light green, just to put a transition shade from the green to the blue. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's the light green right here, then we have a little dot of the darker green, and now we're going to clean our brush again and go in with the blue. So I'm going to take this really, really pretty bright blue right here, and I'm going to put that right under the color in my eye. And now that we're done with that blue, we're going to go in with a darker blue so we can have a transition shade to turn into the purple. So we're going to take that dark blue that's right under that light blue that we just used, a little bit on the very tip of the brush, and we're just going to put a dot at the very end of that light blue, just as the same that we did with the green, and just blend that out. And clean off the brush and go in with our purple. So we're going to take this dark purple that we see right under the very sparkly purple, and then take a little bit on the brush and put it on the very outer corner of our eye. And now last but not least, I'm going to go in with this very, very light purple that we see right here. And I'm going to take that on my brush and I'm going to just blend the purple that we have on our bottom lash and the red that we have on the top of our lid. I'm just blending those two together so we have an even transition. Okay, so now that that is the eyeshadow complete, and I'm going to go off camera and do the other eye. Okay, and so now that we have both eyes complete, we can go in with our inner corner highlight. So I'm going to take that same brush again, and I'm going to go into a little bit of the James Charles white that he has. Just a tiny itty bitty bit on the tip of my brush. I'm just going to place that on my inner corner. I'm going to be honest with you all, this challenge has been super hard using only one brush and only one palette. The palette part isn't as hard just because James provided so many colors and so many transition shades just to make this look perfect. But using one brush is definitely super hard. Getting under the eye with such a big brush, and usually I'd go in with a pencil brush, but I can't for this challenge, so it's super hard, but it's been super fun, and I hope that you guys try it out, and I hope that all of your looks come out amazing. So again, I'm just going in with that white and deepening up the pigment in the inner corner of my eye. Don't worry if you have a little bit of fallout, that's what our setting powder is for, so we can just brush it off with a fluffy brush later. And now, of course, with the same brush again, I'm going to go in with James's 3 shimmery shades that he has right here, a little bit of this one, and a little bit of this one, but mostly a lot of this one. So I'm going to take that on my brush and I'm going to put that in my inner corner as well. And now that we're done with our inner corner highlight, I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of the face, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back and I did the rest of my face, as you can see by my nose highlight. We love that glow on my channel, as you know. And now I'm going to finish off the eye look with a little bit of Inner Corner NYX glitter. I'm just going to put that on the little inner corner of our eye, just to give us a little bit of sparkle. So I'm just going to fast forward to the next few steps, which is going to be mascara, lashes, and a little bit of eyeliner. Okay, I'm back. I have my mascara, my lashes, and my eyeliner on, and we can finally do the last step, which is lips. So now I'm going to go in with my Morphe lipstick in the shade Wifey, and I'm going to put that all over my lips in an even coat. So I picked a nude color just because we don't want to take the attention away from our eyes, and just to keep it neutral on the bottom. Once I'm done with the lipstick, I'm going to go in with my Morphe lip gloss in the shade Flower Crown and just put that on the center of my lip. And then the final step, setting spray. This is the MAC Prepping Prime. And we are set. Okay guys, that is the look all complete. I hope you enjoyed, and please comment down below any questions, comments, concerns, or any other makeup videos you'd like to see. And I really hope you liked it. Please subscribe. Bye guys!